So I wanted to do an update video, a couple things I want to talk about. 2 weeks as a raw vegan, what my experience has been like, what are the pros, what are the cons. The second is I've got some really good news to share with you. I'll just share it now. Is as far as wildland firefighting this season, I have wanted for years to get on in some capacity with the U.S. Forest Service. The U.S. Forest Service, I don't know. I mean, there's some good contractors out there, but as a whole, are I would consider to be the major leagues of firefighting. You have some of the best trained and a lot of real pros working there. They have a program called the AD program in my area, and it stands for Administratively Determined. And what that means is that when their standard fire crews get short, then they will call in their ADs. ADs are typically men and women who have got quite a bit of experience with, I got the rear view camera, where is my, okay, there we go. With quite a bit of experience with wildland firefighting that they bring in as federal employees to put in positions to fill the need. And those positions are extremely difficult to get into, and usually you can't, there are no new openings, you can't get into them unless someone quits or someone dies. And I'm very fortunate to be working with the Forest Service this year as an AD. So what that means is, well, last year, for example, the region that I'll be working in, they ran 84 fires in their initial attack. We run engines and hand crews, and I'll be primarily assigned to an engine. But I could also be assigned as a single resource. It could be, I'm certified now as a faller, a Class B faller. I could work in that capacity. I could work in the capacity possibly as a medic. Lots of different things, and I've got a lot of training coming up, and I couldn't be more excited. This is something that is really a dream come true for me, to be able to work in that capacity, to have access to working with that type of quality people, to have access to what I consider to be the best training in the industry, and it's wonderful. I couldn't be excited. So one thing that does concern me is, as I still will work with the volunteers. Oh, there's Mrs. W. I'll still be working with my district as a volunteer, but that standard is very different. There isn't any qualifications as far as having to meet physical fitness requirements, and that you can't ask it out of volunteers. Some of your volunteers are fit, some are not, some are in good shape, some are not in good shape, and so they basically just take whoever comes. Forest Service is not the case. You have a good run? No? Mrs. W's. I go on power walks with weight, and she runs. So we ran together a little bit, and then we split up, and I came back around. So what was I talking about? Physical fitness. So physical fitness is really important working with the Forest Service. It's interesting, on the job application it says you better arrive, or you must arrive in extremely good shape. Because I'll be competing, or not competing against, but I'll be expected to keep up with men and women, guys and girls that are college students that are 20 years younger than I am. And so I don't want to be the weak link in the chain. I want to be physically fit. In 4 weeks, I have to complete what they call a pack test. This is something that's pretty much standard across the Forest Service and with some contractors, where you have to carry 45 pounds of weight, 3 miles in 45 minutes. It's not a difficult thing to do, but it does weed out people who are, I guess, who are not up to that. And that's something that everyone needs to pass. So that's in 4 weeks. So that's the least of my concerns. My main concern is being fit for the fire season. So I'm out doing hiking, kind of a hiking run with weight. I'll be doing that every morning and getting ready for that. So I'll have more information on that. But man, a very exciting thing, and I'm just couldn't be happier. Couldn't be happier about it. It could be long deployments. It could be going out on campaign fires out of state, 14 days, extended to 21 days. Anything's possible. So that's coming up. Vegetarian diet. So if you've been following the channel, you know that I have, what are we, about 2 weeks? 2 weeks, my sister, the Fresh Pea, go over and subscribe to her channel there if you'd like to join in and get on the meal plan. 2 weeks or so, give or take, we have been on a raw vegan diet, and what started out to be pretty difficult is getting a lot better. I have never felt, I don't think I've ever felt this good in my life. I have done kind of vegan, tried it for a week or so, but I've never done it for 2 weeks, and the difference in the way I feel, my clarity of thought, my stamina, just the color of my skin, everything about it is so much better. I usually when I go to bed at night, it takes me about 2 minutes to fall asleep. I'm just so tired, even if I've worked hard or not. But now I find myself going to bed a little bit later because I have so much energy. I feel like I'm not quite ready to go to bed yet. Cheat. Have I cheated? I have cheated a couple times. I cheated actually 3 times. I had cheated a couple times. I had some hard-boiled eggs in the evening. I was just so hungry in the early stages, so I had a couple organic hard-boiled eggs. And then I was in town yesterday, and I stopped by a vegetarian noodle restaurant and had a vegetarian bowl. Funny thing about that is it's my sister's favorite. It's my sister's favorite restaurant when we go in town together, and she always likes to go there. And I wouldn't say I hated it, but I very much disliked it. And I would try to pick through this menu and order something, and I'm picking out the bean sprouts, and I'm not saying that I'm certainly not enjoying the meal, but she likes it, so I go with her. Well, I went there yesterday by myself for the first time because I just couldn't get back in time to the house to fix something, and I didn't bring as much food as I wanted. I was so hungry, so I ordered a vegetarian dish that I would have never eaten 2 weeks ago. Never would I have eaten it. I would have belly ached, I would have complained, I would have picked half of it out, it made faces, the whole thing. It was delicious. It was absolutely delicious. And I'll attribute that to the fact that I have been on a raw vegan diet, and I've eaten a lot of fruits and vegetables and shakes, and to be able to choose something was really, really nice. But it was delicious, you know. And the thing that really that came out to me on that was that I was going into eating that dish before, or eating anything like that, with a very negative attitude. I already had decided that I didn't like it. The power of suggestion is so strong. I had told myself, I don't like this, you're not going to like it, therefore I didn't like it, and the experience was bad. This, on the other hand, I was so hungry that I was looking forward to it. I told myself that I was going to enjoy it, and I absolutely did. I sat down, it was 15 minutes of sheer bliss, and I have not enjoyed an eating experience like that for a long time. So that really spoke volumes to me. That really told me that how much of these things that are of our passions and desires and things that we think we like and don't like, how much of them are in our head, and how much of that stuff can be unlearned. Corinne, my sister, chose the 21 days because a lot of people think that if you do something for 21 days to a habit. We've all heard that before. If you do something for 21 days, then it will become customary, become a habit. And I think there's something to that, because at 2 weeks, I was able to go and sit down and enjoy a meal that was a healthy meal from something that I would have never eaten before. So I'm grateful to my sister for, she told me this was going to happen, and I didn't think so, but I'm excited to see what happens at 3 weeks. And I fully intend on continuing a much healthier diet than I had before. Am I going to cut meat out of my diet? Here's what I'm thinking. Things always change, but I'm probably not going to eat meat in the home. I've told Mrs. W is putting together a meal plan and food for when we finish these things up. And I said, no, I'm going to try it. I'm going to continue on going as I'm going. And I might eat some eggs and mix in some few things. And I'll look forward to rice and all that. But as far as heavy eating, breads and dairy products and meat, I'm not going to eat that for a while. I'm going to continue on and try it. Now, with that being said, if someone invites me over to their house for a dinner, for example, or getting together with the family for dinner, or someone has cooked something special, am I going to sit down there and say, oh, I'm sorry, I'm a vegetarian, I'm not going to eat those things? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to eat what's put in front of me, because there's nothing worse than someone who's a vegetarian and wants everyone to know about it. I can't stand that. There are, what's the joke that I like? How do you tell, if you have a dinner party and you invite a bunch of people over, how do you tell who the vegetarian is? Oh, you won't have to, because they'll tell you, you know. And the reason why that joke is so funny is because that it's true, and I don't want to be that guy. When I'm in fire camp, and I have not a lot of choices, someone's going to put the food before me, I'm going to eat it. If there's a vegetarian option, I'll go for the vegetarian option. If the vegetarian option is terrible, as they often are in fire camps, I'll eat whatever everyone else is eating. I'm not going to make a big deal of it. But I'm just talking about a way of life and as the average, because if I continue to feel as good as I feel now and have the energy that I have haven't felt this good in 15 years that I do, then it would be foolish to go back. I'm over the coffee. I'm not a slave to the coffee in the morning anymore. That is a real blessing to me. It's an expensive habit. It's a habit that's not particularly good for us. And again, if you want to drink coffee and eat meat or pork, whatever you want to do, I couldn't care less. I don't have anything bad to say about it. But the simple fact of the matter is I've done both. I've done this for 2 weeks, and looking at the way that I feel and everything, and then I look back on how it was before, I don't really necessarily want to go back to that. I don't like throwing a bunch of stats out there, but one thing that's interesting as I was doing some research on this is you may or may not know that Mrs. W and I, we attend a Seventh-day Adventist church. And the Seventh-day Adventists are big proponents on vegetarian diet. And they've done a lot of health studies on Adventists because they are a large segment of the population that eat vegetarian, and they live just under 10 years longer as an average as everyone else. So what does that got to do? Does that have anything to do with the diet? Is it a relationship or time spent in prayer? Is it a life that's a little less free of anxiety? I don't know what it is, but you can't argue the facts that they're living longer. Would you like to live 10 years longer, healthy, and in good shape, and with a full lifestyle? I know I would. And if I can do something that can prolong that, then I'm going to do it. I have an aversion to vegetables. I love meat and I love butter and dairy and all those things. But at what cost? For me, at this time in my life, the cost is becoming too high. And I can see that I'm getting overweight. Also, on this, in 2 weeks, I've lost 8 pounds. And I'm not just shedding weight because I'm not getting protein. I've shedded weight that I didn't need to have, and I'm holding now at that. I'm pretty active. I'm running and doing a lot of stuff and still maintaining that weight. So I have to eat a lot, and there's a lot of meal planning that goes into it, but Mrs. W and my sisters have helped me a lot with that. And things are going well. So we'll do another update at 21 days. But I invite you to try it. There's over 200 people, subscribers of mine as well as subscribers of my sister, the Fresh Pea, that are doing this with us, as well as numerous friends and family that are doing it, and it'll be interesting to see what those results are. If you want to try it, again, go over to her channel. She's got all the meal plans. She's got everything laid out for you and has put a lot of work into it. So I invite you to do that. So try it. This, I always, one thing in the comment that always comes up, and I used to think this way too, was that a man needs meat or a man needs protein, and a vegetarian diet is not something a masculine man would eat. You know, I don't know where that came from. I've thought a lot about that the last couple of days. So I was thinking about doing this update. Where did that come from? Where did it come from, that John Wynn mentality that you need to sit down and have a 16-ounce T-bone and that makes you a big, strong man, that makes you a real man? That's nonsense. I wonder, it makes me question how much of what we believe and the things that we're so adamant about, that we think that this identify with this, or this represents me, or this is my unique thought. I think very little of what we hold as our own really is an original thought of our own. I think that we have been born into a society that is filled with propaganda. I think that a lot of the ideas and things that we hold as our own are the ideas of advertisers, marketers, other men, other women, people who influenced us, and very little is of our own. It takes a conscious effort. It takes a lot of effort to strip away that stuff and look at, what are the facts? What is it that's really important to me? What are my core beliefs? What do I really, truly believe in that comes from me and I haven't been affected by propaganda or lies or marketing from the outside? So don't buy into that. If I can do this for 21 days, if I can do it for 90 days, and we'll see then, you know, I may not know what I'm talking about, and I may have some deficit and I have to go back to a higher protein diet. I don't know, but we'll try it and see. But if 90 days from now I'm still holding the weight that I want, and I'm in good condition, and I feel great, and can get through a fire season and be strong and contribute to my team on a vegetarian diet, I think that will be a pretty strong indicator that that there's nothing wrong with it, and that it's a suitable choice. So that's it. All right. Well, thanks for watching. And what we have coming up tomorrow, Mrs. W, the whole family, we're heading into Portland. We're going to pick up our new wood stove, I believe. I think that it's going to be in. If it's not, we're still going in. But you'll get to meet Buck, our wood stove guy, and that's going to be a great video. So we're going to get that. We decided to go with the Hearthstone, I believe, the soapstone wood stove. Mrs. W picked out a blue one that she likes, so well, we'll have that. We just got our windows in for the remodel. We got our big slider, and we got our kitchen window, and I got to take the chainsaw and cut a hole in the side of the log home. We're going to start that today, so I'll have some video of that coming up. But lots of stuff coming up. Ordered a brand new wildland pack from Mystery Ranch. I have been happy with my coaxer to an extent, but unhappy to an extent too, in the fact that I have some serious concerns the way it's designed and the way it carries I think that anyway, I decided to go with the new one, one that I think is going to be a lot better. That'll be here in 2 days, and that'll be from Mystery Ranch, the hot spot from Mystery Ranch. So that is a fantastic, handmade in the United States wildland pack, probably the best you can buy, in my opinion. So I'll do a full loadout on that too. I'll have to switch everything over. So lots of fun stuff coming up. We got lots of snow, as you can see here. We got three inches on the ground, and big surprise there. So that's it. We'll see you guys on the next video.